Hi boys and girls, happy Tuesday. This is your video for our letter of the week. And so I've got some notes here from AlphaCat and I think we should read them. And let's see what letter AlphaCat left for us today. So the first one says Jed jogs. Jed jogs. So there's a sound there and we've got to listen for it to figure out what letter AlphaCat left for us. Jolly Jim joined Jumping Jack. Jolly Jim joined Jumping Jack. Now you say that. Jolly Jim joined Jumping Jack. What sound do you hear over and over and over? I hear the J sound. J. J says J. Where's my letter card? There it is. J says J. So both of these are a J. This is capital J. And this is lowercase j. And this girl here, she is jumping. Jump. So that is what our letter looks like. And now, where is J in the alphabet? Let's take a look here. So here's A, B, C, D, E. It's not really at the beginning here. F, G, H, I, J. There is J. So J is about in the middle of the alphabet. So what other things or words can you think of that start with J? J, jump, just like we talked about with our letter card. J, joke. We have a Jack in our class. His name starts with a J. Jewel. And we know that the letter G sometimes can make the J sound. The letter G most oftentimes makes the G sound. So we get those mixed up sometimes because G, he's kind of tricky and he wants to sound like a J. So try to think of some words that start with J. And then ask your parents if those really start with the J. Okay, now I want you to put your hand on your throat and we're going to figure out if this is voiced or unvoiced. J, J. Do you feel vibration? J, J. I do. I feel vibration. So J is voiced. Okay, let's take a look at how to form the letter J. All right, here's our lowercase letter J formation paper. You need your screen, or you need your paper, your screen, and your green crayon. And if you don't have a green crayon, that's fine, but you need to try to use a crayon because whenever we go over the screen, we want those bumps to be there. So make sure you write your name, first name, and your last name. Now the letter J is special because it's one of our only letters that go into the basement. So when we start with our letter J, we start on the ceiling of the house. We start here and then we go down through the basement and then we go, just take a little hop up. Notice how we don't go up to the ceiling of the basement. We just go a little bit. So we're going to start here, go down and around, pick our pencil back up to go back up to the top to make the dot for the J. Okay, and as we form our letter, we say J says J. Put your screen on top of your letter. Whatever hand you write with, that's the one that you need to have ready with your pointer. Your other hand has a job too, and that hand needs to be holding down the screen and the paper. So trace with me. Ready? J says J. J says J. J says J. Put your screen underneath your paper. Now instead of our finger this time, we're going to take our crayon. Our other hand still has its job, and it's going to hold down the paper and the screen. Find your starting point and trace. Ready? J says J. J says J. J says J. All right, and we're going to move on to our dotted. J says J. J says J. J says J. Now take your finger, put it on the starting point. Let's do it again. J says J. J says J. J says J. Okay, we've practiced a few times now, so we're going to try one on our own. Now be the boss of you. Make sure that you are starting where you're supposed to start. So before you just start writing, think to yourself, am I starting where I'm supposed to? You can look back at what you just drew. I know that I'm supposed to start on the dotted line, so I'm going to put my crayon there. And I know I'm supposed to go down all the way to this bottom line and then just up a little. J says J. One more time. J says J. Okay, so now we're going to move down to the bottom. We're going to do the same thing. J says J. J says J. J says J. Now, I didn't have to do a lot of thinking for these, so they didn't take me that long. Okay, so just because we went quickly for these three doesn't mean it's going to take you the same amount of time for the rest. So you might need to move a little slower so you can make some beautiful J's. J says J. 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 Okay, so I fit 5 J's on there. I hope that you can fit 5 J's on there too. Okay, and now we're going to take a look at this paper. Make sure your name is at the top. I'm not going to do this whole paper with you. I'm just going to run through with you how to do it. So here we've got our capital J. So our capital J starts, I could draw a house right here, just like our other paper. Our capital J starts at the roof, so all the way in the attic. It goes down, down through the floor of the ceiling. Sorry, down through the floor of the attic, into the house, all the way down, and it touches the floor of the house. Okay, and then it bounces up just like we did at the bottom. So you watch one more time. We start all the way at the roof, go down through the floor of the attic, through the house. We touch the floor and bounce right back up. Okay, so make your J's here, and then you're going to draw some J's right underneath. You've got your lowercase J's down here, and then your lowercase J's here on these dots. And then here it says color or circle each picture with the same beginning sound as jellyfish. So crab. Crab does not start with J, so we would not circle that. Okay?